In our Sunrise Smart Start, 3 men, including a parolee, are behind bars after being accused by Gates police of robbing the Verizon store on Lyle Avenue Saturday afternoon. Sonny Rucker, Jadise Holland, and Jedediah Duvall allegedly went into the store pointing guns at employees and customers, stealing nearly $25,000 worth of electronics. They now face charges of grand larceny, among others. Nobody inside the store was hurt, and police tell us that some of the items stolen had tracking devices in them, and the man on parole had an ankle monitor, which led to a quick capture of the suspects. Missing St. John Fisher student Kenny DeLand Jr. was reportedly found alive last week. He was studying abroad in France for the semester, but his family hadn't heard from him for 3 weeks. When they finally got in contact with him on Friday, he told them he was in Spain. Kenny's friend Hunter, who we spoke to previously about the search for Kenny, shared his thoughts with us now that Kenny was reported safe. He says he was relieved when he heard the news, but some parts of the story, he says, isn't adding up. We asked Hunter if Kenny ever mentioned he planned on visiting Spain.
No, and that was the weird part because he was never supposed to go to Spain. The last time I had originally talked to him was when he had messaged me on Snapchat, but that was about 3 weeks before he went missing, and we hadn't really talked since then, but he's definitely someone that's not is very strange to not contact someone if something like this would have happened.
Hunter also says he has a lot of questions to ask Kenny when he finally gets home. As winter sets in, local charities are changing how they reach the homeless population in Rochester following the recent move of the Loomis Street encampment. Jatira Marsh joins us from the newsroom this morning with more about their approach. Jatira, good morning.
Amel, good morning. The team relied on word-of-mouth directions from other homeless people they came across for guidance to where people are staying and what they need. Volunteers at the vineyard usually hand out food bags and clothing at their headquarters, but now they're focusing on driving around the city looking for new encampments popping up, saying the Loomis Street closure and the changes at the House of Mercy are making the homeless move around more. They're delivering hot meals, Narcan, rugs, and also doctors offering free checkups and medicine.
Looking at their oxygen level and checking their blood pressure. Right now we had a patient who wanted their blood sugars checked because she was just in the hospital with pneumonia with very high blood sugars. So just giving them some basic idea of their health.
The vineyard is also planning to build more emergency shelters at the headquarters next year and use them for warming stations, which volunteers are also needed for. In the newsroom, Jatira Marsh, News 8.
Jatira, thank you. And in order to keep this approach of caring for the homeless possible, volunteers and donations are needed. We'll have more information on how you can help over at rochesterfirst.com. Let's check in now with meteorologist James Gilbert for a look at today's forecast. James, maybe if we're heading out the door this morning, the winter coat might be a necessity.
I think so, yeah. And not only are the temperatures cold, but we've got a pretty significant wind out there, a little breezy. To start off this morning, breezes 20, 25, maybe even 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts going to be possible. Now note where the arrows are coming from. It's originally a west wind and then eventually a northwest wind. So that change in wind direction really important here because that's going to bring a snow band across the area. And I expect flakes to fly sometime this afternoon and this evening for that evening commute. Keep an eye out on that. We'll have a look at the 8-day forecast that does include the holiday coming up in a couple of minutes at the end of the show. Amel, back to you.
All right, James, thank you. Taking one last look at the roads this morning. Things are still looking really good out there. I'm not seeing any new accidents. So if you're heading out the door right now, you should run into no issues. We do have updates for you every half hour until 9 o'clock. So if we have any updates for you, we will, of course, relay those to you. The first night of Hanukkah was last night, and one rabbi says this year's celebration is especially important because the meaning of Hanukkah is a constant reminder of the power of one candle to transform the world of darkness. He adds this year people in the Jewish community are facing more darkness than they have recently. He says the goal of Hanukkah is not to push away the darkness, but to transform it into light.
The meaning of Hanukkah this year is especially significant because the message of Hanukkah is a constant reminder of the power of one candle to transform a world of darkness.
Hanukkah ends next Monday in the evening of December 26th. Local fans celebrating after Argentina's World Cup victory yesterday. Fans gathered at Salvatore's on East Main Street supporting their favorite teams. The owner of Salvatore's says it was great having everyone together having a good time, adding many of the folks there were rooting for Argentina to win.
The World Cup is huge. It's like the Super Bowl in the world, so everyone wants to watch it. We have a lot of European families here. Everyone loves soccer, so they come and support their teams that they love. Like I said, everyone is rooting for Argentina. This is Messi's probably last World Cup, so he's a legend.
He adds many people in the community also gathered at Salvatore's for the Bills game on Saturday. The next World Cup is expected to be held in North America in 2026.
We'll have the forecast coming up in the next couple hours in our cut-ins.
All right, James, thank you. And thank you so much for watching News 8 at Sunrise. Our next update is coming up in 30 minutes. CBS Mornings is next.